Hi, my name is Pip, and today we'll be reviewing the Neca Shin Godzilla atomic version. Now, if you don't know, this version of Godzilla comes from the 2016 film Shin Godzilla. Don't ask me what happens in the movie, I haven't seen it yet. The most I'm aware of is that this version of Godzilla is basically a rotting corpse of the Godzilla from 1954. Hi, I'm writing this now after learning that Shin Godzilla is actually not related to, any of the Godzilla films, not even the original one. So, don't mind me real quick. I'm just gonna go watch the movie to know what the hell is going on. After watching the film, I can confidently say I still don't know what the hell is going on. Well, that's not completely true. I know a tiny bit more than I did beforehand. Basically, this version of Godzilla is a more gritty and disgusting interpretation of the giant nuclear lizard we all know and love. A key difference being that throughout the film, Godzilla evolves, and according to the Godzilla wiki, it's the first Godzilla to do this. The other Godzilla doing this is Ultima Godzilla, which maybe one day we'll talk about that figure, but not today. Anyways, back to Shin Godzilla. He specifically has 5 forms throughout the film. Huh. A lizard that has 5 forms and shoots purple laser beams out of their body. You sure we're talking about Godzilla and not Frieza?
Well, now that is beautiful!
I don't want to discuss the entire plot of Shin Godzilla because I kind of want to save that for a review later, but to sum it up here, it's 2 hours of the Japanese government bumbling around like fools. People died, the Prime Minister died, and America tried to make the sun drop on Japan for a 3rd time. Got all that? Good, because the painting and sculpting on this figure is pretty good. In places. An unfortunate fact when it comes to NECA figures is that you're essentially paying $40 to $70 for a nice looking piece of trash. Most of the painting on this figure is great. The body just looks like it's exposed flesh. Almost like the figure is in constant pain. It's really, really nice because that's essentially what Shin Godzilla is in the movie. The tail fins, however... Look, it's hard to write down my exact thoughts on the painting of the tail fins, but basically, sometimes it looks good, and sometimes it looks like shit. The end of the tail's inexcusable. They didn't even try it. It looks like they dipped it in a can of white paint. I also can't help but think that the rubber plastic they use for the base of the tail kind of looks like a fish fillet.
Now I'm kind of hungry.
The mouth and eyes are painted beautifully, except for that ugly plug for an atomic breath. Speaking of accessories, no, this isn't a I misplaced them scenario. I know where they are, I'm just refusing to show them because of how stupid they are. They didn't even attempt to paint the atomic breath. Instead of it looking like Godzilla is mowing down buildings, he just looks like he's projectile vomiting a bad glass of milk.
Long before time had a name, the first Spinjitzu master created ninja.
Which is why I'm going to use Kamehameha effect from my Krillin figure, which I will make a review on that at some point, to emulate an atomic breath. Because it doesn't look right without it, but I'm not using those shit parts. But that isn't even the last of my problems with this figure. Out of the box, the tail comes unattached. Wouldn't be an issue if the tiny tail fins weren't so goddamn sharp. It's not sharp enough to draw blood or cut skin, but it is sharp enough to draw a 12-year-old boy insane as he sits on the cold floor next to a tiny heater trying to attach a tail to a piece of shit Godzilla figure. That was oddly specific for no reason. Life is pain. On top of that, for some reason, the tail stops separating into ball joints and just becomes a solid piece. Again, wouldn't be a problem if the designer didn't have the tail dipped down before coming back up again. Now it just looks stupid. The more I write the script for this, the more sanity I lose. Anyway, size comparison. Mako, Prime, Megatron, and my last review, HS03 soundtrack. The size comparison out of the way, let's get into the posability of this figure, because there basically isn't any. Head can look up and down that far, head can swivel, neck swivel, half swivel at the chest, but it's not really one. Arms can move up and down. You could get a swivel at the arms, but I don't want to break the figure. Elbow can swivel, bend at the claw, swivel at the claw. Legs can rotate, not really a swivel, but take what you can get. Bend at the knee, knee swivel. Foot can slightly bend, not really. Feet swivel, and now for the tail. Swivel here, 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 swivel here. Overall posability on this figure is very limited. You can get a good few pictures, but not a lot. I rated a 3 out of 5 on looks and a 2 out of 5 on being a figure in general. This figure is the main reason I don't buy NECA figures anymore, which is unfortunate since they're the only company that makes figures for franchises I like. They don't get a lot of figures made on them. I guess a Xenomorph, Predator, or Robocop figure will ever grace my collection. Unless hope is restored.